Thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining this session that will be about the stakeholder trap. That's a critical challenge when empowering organization. I want to share with you today what is the stakeholder trap, why it's important and why now, and what to do about it. Let's look at what is this stakeholder trap. So all organizations have some people or teams that are tasked with protecting some risks or concerns, some business risks or concerns. And these people, they can have quite many concerns in a large company. So depending on what the company does and how old it is, there may be a lot of concerns. So for instance, just keeping it super simple, oversimplifying it, legal may be concerned with a lot of regulatory risks. Security may be concerned with breaches. Operations may be concerned with keeping the system up and running. So these people need to work at scale in the company, and they need to reach everyone and ensure that everyone does their part of the job to manage that risks. And that is, of course, very hard. So they tend to use tools to do that rely on zero trust. So what you will see happen is that they will write policies, they will write documents, they will write checklists, sign off meetings, reviews, etc., etc. I think you've seen that somewhere. And it's all well and good. This is part of their work. But then on the other side, of course, you have the people making change in the organization, trying to create value. It's often product teams, development teams. And they are, of course, very busy. They're busy trying to create value, meeting customers, speaking with other teams, trying to deblock themselves, coordinating, etc., etc. A lot of decisions, a lot of trade-offs they're making every day. So, of course, they are not that very concerned when something comes their way which lacks meaning, which is devoid of why, which is there's no reasoning behind. It just becomes something more for them to do on top of everything else they are already doing. So of course, they often see these forms coming. It's like one size fits all. It's black and white, and it's too complex. All right. So what do? Well, teams, of course, try to optimize their work. That's what they're good at. So what they will do is to avoid work, not do that. And actually, I've been there a lot of time in a previous life, not doing these things. Or they may do that very late, or just waiving it, just ticking the boxes to go to the next step. So don't bother me anymore. And of course, what happens is that the risk is not managed, and these business stakeholders then feel like, well, it's exactly why we did the checklist. It doesn't seem to work. We need to have even more checklists, longer lists, more clarifications. So what they do is that after a couple of turns of the wheel, there's like, you should do the checklist, of course. Do it now. Bigger and more. And of course, the teams are busy as ever, and they tend to not, of course, like that, which is after a while you may end up in situation in some companies where you have some kind of revolution. This is not good. They are not, business stakeholders are not value creating. They are in the way. Please make it stop. And there's too much bureaucracy. So here you have it. Here you have this stakeholder trap where no one is actually satisfied. Everyone is frustrated. The business stakeholders feel misunderstood. They have no control. And the teams, of course, they feel like they are micromanaged. So you have no trust. The thing is, this is not like they are stupid or they are not doing their work or they don't understand. This is not the character flow of the people working in the system. It is just the system, how the system is designed. We have a separation of concern. Okay, so why we've been living with this system for ages now. Why is that important now more than ever? Yes, it's important because more and more companies are trying to empower the team and go to the product operating model. And in this model, the relations between the teams and the stakeholders is more important than ever. Because in this model, the teams are, of course, responsible for creating right outcome, the right product. Of course, they are always trying to create outcome for the customers. But on top of that, they are also responsible for ensuring that it works for the business and that everything they do is within the frame set by the business. And of course, that a lot of stuff involved there. Note that what is new here is that it's the teams that are doing that. It's at the team level. So the team is responsible, is accountable for this to happen. It's not someone else. So the relation must be fixed. How can we do that? Well, of course, you want to get more trust inside this model. And how you do that? Well, perhaps to have rebalance this relation so that it's more of a peer relation. So the team going from an order taker to the team being more of a partner. So how do you get the team to get more control, basically? Well, you've perhaps heard my colleague Joachim earlier today with the 4C model. To become a partner, you need two things at the very least. The first thing you need to do as a team, as a product manager, you need to get this started, is to become competent enough in the domain of these stakeholders so that you are not putting things at risks. And it's not here that you should be expert in this domain, but simply just know enough to not make mistake, to become credible when speaking to the stakeholders. And the other thing you should do is to seek clarity. And clarity here is about where is the line? What is the context that we are operating in as a company? Where are the threats? What's the vision here? What's the business context? So here are some tips on how you can actually create more competence, grow your competence in the domain. First is that, there's more work for you, but it's at least to skim the regulations, the audit, the framework, so that you can speak the language, speak about CapEx and OpEx is finance, speak about threat area and zero trust with security, etc., etc. So that you understand the why behind that constraint. It's only then that they can open and start to relax. And if they're relaxed, then they start to teach you about this themselves. How to seek clarity? Well, first is try to avoid any intermediaries so that you should engage directly with these people and ask about the context and boundaries. So for instance, instead of asking, can we ship this, which is like asking for permission, it's like, what risk do you see here? Followed by what exactly can be done here? Where's the line? It's not black and white. So what in this context makes sense? What could we do here? Present options. So for instance, instead of saying, yes, but this is hard, which just means that you don't listen to them. Of course, try yes, and you validate that they have a good concern and you're going to help them with that. Of course, involve them early and iterate to show that you do that consistently. You can start this tomorrow. Or on Monday at the very least. Pick one stakeholder, speak with them, not to actually do anything more than actually understand their world. If you do that, you can change from the relation from being a stakeholder's relation to more a partner relation. If you want to do more with more tips, check this playbook where you will find plenty more on this topic. That's all for me. Thank you.